Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. We're finally back after the wrong turn at the Wormhole. Rok-Tahk dominates the WWE. Zero finds out what's in the box. Oops, Jankom Pog can fix it. And the Diviner reunites with the Vindicator right in front of Janeway.
Look, it's not my fault. The ship was supposed to be on autopilot, and the dots were explaining to me the entire history from when they were made and when they first came on board, and I was so engrossed that how can a friggin' inanimate object have such a varied life? And talk about time warps meeting Lincoln. I mean, just all this stuff. I totally think that the dot was lying. But at least we got out of the wormhole. That was a long.
You told the dot the wrong coordinates, and he said, "Are you sure?" And you said, "Engage." And then next thing you know, we're in a wormhole.
No,
I mean, sure, they've got great stories, but
oh shit! I know what happened.
We've had plenty of time when we were coming back through the other direction because it's a one-way wormhole.
You know what? I think I knew exactly what happened because when I gave the coordinates and the dot went to confirm and he asked me to engage, somebody said, "Tucker, get engaged." I went, "Engaged?" I didn't realize that until now.
This entire time, I thought you guys went through the wormhole so I could run experiments.
It was pretty wild, but it was nice psychedelic colors for a while.
It was the classic problem, though. You couldn't make a U-turn because you're in a fucking wormhole, right?
No, couldn't do that.
So annoying. I hate it when you make a wrong turn and you can't just make a U-turn and fix everything.
Yeah, you can't make a U-turn on the freeway of space.
Yeah, you just can't flip a bitch inside a wormhole. It doesn't work that way.
Well, you can, but then your whole ship would get torn apart.
Well, then you come out backwards, and that's not a good thing.
And it's more frustrating because at time when I was captaining a bunch of cadets on their maiden voyage, and I told them if they didn't stop, I was going to turn this starship right around, and they looked at me and went, "You can't." And what can you do? You can't argue, smart ass fucking kids. You couldn't argue with them because they were right. So there was that.
I mean, wormholes are great. When they get you where you want to go, they're great. But when you accidentally turn into the one and you can't turn around, then you got to take all that extra time that you would have skipped because you just went through a wormhole because they're faster. You got to take the slow way back. It's so annoying.
Take the slow way home.
But I knew Tucker when we got Tucker on the ship, I knew he was going to be a pain in the ass because the first time we went through a wormhole, he's like, "Why are we going into a blueberry sphincter hole?" I just knew. Oh shit, the light's on. Okay, look, everybody, if you're listening to us, I guess you just dropped in the middle of our broadcast. If you're under the age of 18,
the first thing they heard was blueberry sphincter hole.
Blueberry sphincter.
If you're under the age of 18,
that sounds like the name of a band I saw on Endorian.
You should not be listening. And for those of you that actually met part of us at the Los Angeles Comic Con and took cards, and this is the first show you're listening to, I'm sorry. This is us.
How was that? You guys look like you were having all kinds of fun.
It's Lo Cientos.
It was quite fun. I was killed multiple times.
I was jealous.
So that was nice. I was killed by Elektra, and I was killed by a bunch of angry Sith.
I was killed by the Deep's ass.
Yeah, the Deep was out there.
I told you to wash your red shirts.
Yeah, but it wasn't that type of red shirt. They just saw red shirt and they get gleeful. It's like, I'm not the one that's supposed to.
Rough crowd out there, man. Wow.
It was pretty bad. We did have some pretty good people. We hope to one day get to be guests on the show. So we met a young lady who does all of the orchestra and composing for Prodigy, which was cool.
Ooh.
And we met a gentleman who does all the fabrication of all the weapons that Disney has in all the Marvel shows and all the Disney stuff. So, which is really cool. And Picard season 3.
Oh, we may have heard of that show.
Yeah. And he only told us be prepared to get blown away. So
we have to be very careful with the transporter this time then.
Yeah, because
we don't want any accidents.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
No.
That wasn't good.
We want them to arrive in one piece.
You think it's bad because the podcast is late because of a fucking wormhole and transporter accident. That's really bad.
Mm-hmm. You still haven't found Archer's dog.
No, he's still out there because it was a trans
Porthos?
teleporter. Porthos still out there somewhere.
Spoilers! universe?
I think he's going to come back with as a creature like V'ger.
For people who haven't finished the show, yeah, that's kind of a spoiler, sir.
I'm devastated.
Especially if you're a dog fan.
Well, this is
Yes.
true.
They talk about it in another show.
But that's okay.
I didn't look up that memory alpha.
They talk about it in the second J.J. Abrams one.
Movie.
I don't think I've seen
Scotty.
that movie.
When they're talking to Scotty about transwarp beaming, he talks about Archer's dog.
You know what, though? Alternate universe, because it's a Kelvin timeline, right? So
that's true. So
we got to figure out how that fits along the timelines.
So Archer's dog should be fine, or else he's going to make an appearance with a whole race of warrior dogs.
Ooh, like that dog from that Teddy created.
Yeah,
I want to see the mirror universe Porthos.
that would be
Ooh,
pretty wild.
That would be cool.
It'd be like in the movie,
And like
Up.
leather and spikes and shit.
Yep, it'd be like in the movie Up with all that thing. It's like, what saved us for our ship being destroyed? We sent out a squirrel.
Squirrel.
Okay.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Thanks everybody for joining. Like I said, we have a full crew complement. And if you have met me, you know my name is Captain Nathan Adams, and you met my first officer here, who is not standing next to me, but in his quarters broadcasting, and that is.
Hey, I'm Patrick. I'm number one. I'm the computer guy. I'm the foreign species liaison. And maybe you met me at LA Comic-Con last weekend.
And the person you did not meet, because we always having her pilot the ship, where she attacks gleefully when she has the job. And then we catch her with Simon Eyes trying to get scratches out. How do you get scratches on the Starship? I have no idea.
Meteor shower.
Is our very intelligent science officer.
Hi, I'm Heather Ferris. I'm the science officer. And time crystals. You take time crystals and you rub them in the scratches, and it fills up the scratches, and you can't even notice it. It works on all metals.
That works better than driving the Starship backwards at warp speed.
And the way you get scratches on a starship is you go through an asteroid field without the
deflector array?
without the deflector
when
on.
the deflector array is down, you don't want to go through the asteroid field.
No, that's a no.
Bad form.
And speaking about good form, the person who reported to me the last time Heather did the ship, we had a dent on the inside and he couldn't figure it out.
I didn't do it.
I didn't narc her out.
I didn't do it.
I didn't say nothing.
No, you didn't
I just
say
said it was a dent. I didn't know. I didn't say Heather did it.
I blame 007.
You said, well, it could have been 007. He's been scarce today. But we'll see what's going on. Is our winner of the O'Brien Award and the guy who makes us really sound better than we actually sound in real life. In real life on the radio, we sound like munchkins, but he takes care of us.
I don't think we sound like munchkins.
I agree with that 100%. I second the captain.
Okay, fine. I don't make you sound like munchkins. Hi, everybody. I'm Rocky. I'm engineer of the show and the ship. And I just want to shout out the Syfy Sistas because I had a long drive over the weekend and their podcast punched up on my pet, and they had an interview with John Billingsley that was just delightful.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah. So Syfy
Oh,
Sistas,
wow. Cool.
it's SYFYSISTAS.com.
They were really nice at Mission Chicago.
Yeah, we met some
were.
of them at Mission. No, we were at the 56-year Mission.
Yeah.
Was it Vegas?
Well, I met
it
him in
was
Vegas because I was on that panel with one of them.
Was it Vegas? I thought it was Chicago.
I mean, you guys might have met him in Chicago. I don't know.
No, it was Chicago. You were at the panel for podcasting. That was Chicago.
No, that wasn't Chicago. That was in Vegas. It was on the top of Bally's because it was the year they put it in Bally's.
I did not
You know what?
spike their
That
dreams
is right.
with time crystals. I swear
You
to
are
God.
right. That is right. Oh, so that means that no one came up to you and says, I would love a fluff and nutter sandwich with you?
What?
Oh, right. I am
Next.
apparently that
A
wormhole did
sandwich with
something
what?
to me. Fluff and nutter.
Excuse me?
Who's Fluff? And why are we getting in a sandwich with
They're
Heather?
fluffing your nutter.
Fluff and nutter. They wanted to fluff your
Is that a
nutter.
nut and butter?
It's a
What do they
sex
call
thing.
those?
I don't know.
Nutter butters.
Nutter butters are
Wait,
delicious.
so number one, can you explain it to us if you know?
I'm not quite 100% sure, but it's about fluffing your nuts.
I'm sorry. I have no idea what damn wormhole.
We did say
Okay.
the show isn't for kids, right?
No,
Right,
it
not
is
meant for kids.
However, what is also meant for adults and not for kids is this show is being brought to you by Section 31. They are responsible for us having this Defiant class USS Butler ship, which we're quite happy with, but they still will not give us a Star class destroyer because they said we don't have enough people. but that's neither here nor there. Also, thank you for all of our Patreon people. We really appreciate the fact that you donate to the show. It helps the spade and neuter the tribbles and helps keeps the show going. Thank you also for those of you that buy our merchandise from our souvenir store on the lower deck area, because each item you buy actually finances a show, an entire show. So we're quite happy about that as well.
Well, it depends on what you buy. I mean, I guess the coffee cups are a little bit cheaper.
No,
a couple of coffee cups if you want to.
Yeah, please do.
That totally explains going into our rooms, because all of our rooms are just stashed with merch that we bought to keep the show going.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It takes a while to shuttle pot it over.
And what about those slippers? Every time I put my feet in, they go, damn, Starbase Haiti. So I don't know. That happens.
That's a great idea. We should patent that.
So, but
every time you're walking around, they go, damn, Starbase Haiti.
So I am grateful for all of the people that are out there, and also our fans of the show. So thank you, Lana, so much, because you're always come and find us no matter where we are. You track us down and look for us. Thank you, Ed. Thank you for pimping that hole. Thank you for Dom. Thank you for all the people who are regular, and they make sure we realize that they're regular. And for all of you that are ninja listening, we appreciate you as well. So thanks for that. Before we go heading any deeper, I have to ask my favorite question of my number one here. We get any corrections from last week?
No, we do not.
So you already checked ahead of time, didn't you?
I did.
Because I saw you underneath the console working something with the comm unit there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Now we're going to go ahead and dive into all the information that's happening north, east, west, and south of the galaxy here. So Heather, what do you got for news?
This week's news is Lower Decks has been nominated for a Critics' Choice Award for Best Animated Series. It is going up against Bluey, Bob's Burgers, Jendi, Tarth... Okay, I am not even pronouncing that one. Primal, Harley Quinn, and Undone. Tartovsky, I think that's what it is. Jendi Tartovsky. I've never heard of that one.
Maybe we should go watch it.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
If it's nominated.
Might be good.
Yeah.
It might be not as good as Lower Decks, but, you know.
I think Lower Decks is going to win that one.
I mean, seriously. Lower Decks.
Lower Decks. Oh, okay.
It's the same thing. We can't even chant Lower Decks right because of the internet. You can't sing Happy Birthday and you can't chant Lower Decks simultaneously.
No, it won't work right.
Stupid subspace.
And I just discovered Bluey because my niece and nephew was over the cabin and they put it on, and it's like, what the hell is this? It's apparently two Australian dogs in a family of Australia, and they do wild and crazy things. So that's Bluey.
Oh yeah, so, Bluey's supposed to be a good children's show.
Yeah, I was forced to watch it, so it was quite interesting to say the least. And speaking of interesting, what do you have news-wise there, number one?
Well, it's not per se interesting, but it's, some people will find it sad. Kirstie Alley, who played Lieutenant Saavik in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, has passed away from a short battle with colon cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so most people will remember her as Saavik. Some people will remember her from Cheers. Some will remember her from Fat Actress. Some will remember her from Veronica's Closet.
She was the very first Saavik, wasn't she?
Yep.
Yes.
Wow.
Robin Curtis took over in Star Trek 3.
And nothing against Robin Curtis, but I think Kirstie Alley was essentially the Saavik.
She did a good job. That's
How old was she?
71.
Okay, and she died on Monday, December 5th, 2022.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And later in life, she became pretty much a troll on, with Scientology, with backing Trump, with the things she said about gays and being pedophiles. And
yeah, nobody's perfect. You got to remember, when we watched her in Star Trek II, she was like in her late teens, right? Or early 20s, somewhere in there.
I thought it was her 20s, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was a spring chicken back then. And you see her now, the lifetime of experience that she's gone through, put her in a place where your politics may not have agreed. Or your religious beliefs, because a lot of people are against those too for some reason.
Yeah, well, she was a Scientologist, so right there, she's a whack job because
It's funny because I remember first time I heard about Scientology, I was in college and I'm like, what? That sounds cool. Science is great. I love science. It turns out not much to do with science.
Nothing to do with science.
It's very much science fiction.
Yes. Literally based on a science fiction book.
Not to poop on anyone's religion because we are at the show. Do not do that. But a little bit of a fact information
except for
you.
Scientology.
Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard had made a bet that religion can be made up and contrived. So he decided to write the book Scientology to say basically that all the bad thoughts you have came from cycloids that was dropped over here in 747 jets and dropped all the bad spirits into volcanoes. Mm-hmm. And all the bad people in volcanoes had nowhere to go. So
what
they
were
went
we
into
smoking
people.
when we wrote this?
And
Shh, women aren't supposed to know this.
And that's how people have bad, that's why they don't believe in psychiatry because it's the bad influence that is.
And women are technically not supposed to know the story and everything. Like they're really against women.
Which part of this was about the John Travolta movie that was really, really
that's
panned?
Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth. I actually enjoyed that. I remember enjoying it.
Total different movie, and Forrest Whitaker did that just so I could never cosplay that part.
Okay. But seriously, can we do a quick little moment for Kirstie Alley? Because some of us grew up looking at her in a certain way with our young
I know
young
what way
eyes.
you was looking at her. Okay. I just heard your mic popped. Quiet.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah. Okay. Here she is, that great Skovacor in the sky.
Yeah. Thank you, Kirstie.
She's with Xenu. She's not in Stovacor.
Yeah.
Well, wherever you are now. Thank you for that beautiful movie that you were in with our Star Trek crazy people.
And all that information I gave you, I just saved you like a couple of $1 million because they only tell you this once you pay money to get higher and higher levels.
You have to pay money?
Yeah.
Scientology?
What does religion have to do with money? Wait a minute. They ask for that at the church.
They make you pay they make you pay lots of money for the courses.
Well, they pass around a thing at some churches, so
no, but this is different. They in order to progress in the church, you have to pass these courses.
Pay to play.
Yes,
basically.
Anyway,
and their book was #1 on the bestseller Dianetics for a long time because what they would do is that they published a book and they'd buy up all the copies. Mm-hmm. So it falsely inflated the bestseller list because then they would give the books out.
That's just good marketing.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, it is. Speaking about great marketing, what do you got for us there news-wise there, Chief?
I've got a couple things. I just wanted to quickly mention another show. The Shuttlepod Show is back for season 2. There's season 2. It's They're the good. 2 Enterprise guys, Connor and Dom. Yeah. And they interview. Usually they were interviewing actors and people involved with the Enterprise show, but now they scoped it a little bit further out. Now they had Chekhov on one of the episodes, and then they had Andrew Robinson on the most recent one. And they're great. I love them. The Shuttlepod Show. I just find them on YouTube. And that's good viewing right there. Another thing because YouTube is my life, apparently, I was watching an old, you guys remember the Craig Ferguson show?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You guys remember that? It's going to make no sense at all if you've never watched the show, but it actually was a pretty sweet little show, and crazy comedy happened at the Late Show with Craig Ferguson. And one of the bits that blew up, they had this sidekick skeleton robot named Geoff Peterson. And Geoff Peterson was actually constructed by Grant Imahara. So he made the robot as part of this comedy bit for the Craig Ferguson show. And the guy that voiced the Geoff Peterson robot is Josh Robert Thompson. And his video, he's put many videos on YouTube, but he put up one of these classic clips. He actually said, he actually did a live stream to explain it later, because some people have no fucking clue what the Craig Ferguson show was. And it was a great time in TV. But they had this little clip of a bit they did, and it had Craig Ferguson laughing so hard he was crying. And this video has been on his YouTube channel for apparently like 11 years, and it just recently exploded. It just went viral for no apparent reason. And this is fun. And if you want to get into this kind of stuff, it's kind of fun to check out. But the other side of the thing, if you're a Geoff Peterson robot, he's added a merch store on his YouTube that sells Geoff Peterson shirts. But the thing about that, we're not just pushing somebody's merch. It benefits the Grant Imahara's foundation. I don't know what it's exactly called, but, it supports STEM and what other things like that from, because Grant Imahara was amazing as an engineer and in educational wise, it's great to hear that is supporting that sort of thing. So I just wanted to bring that up because I remember the Craig Ferguson show was fucking wonderful. And Geoff Peterson was a hoot.
The one thing I will say about Grant is that we had a chance to meet and have a conversation with him. And for those of you who are not fully aware who he was the gentleman that was on Mythbusters.
Yeah.
He's such a really genuine individual, and his passing affected everybody deeply. Everybody in industry, just like Aaron's affected everyone in Star Trek. Grant hit everybody. He does so many things that behind the scenes, like you just talked about the robot. A lot of people are not aware that he designed and made the first Energizer Bunny that was mechanical, that was not CG.
Yeah, and he also operated a lot to do with R2-D2 units in the newer Star Wars shows.
Yep.
So a great master engineer as far as the film production.
He was. Okay, my news part of it. Everybody who's listened to the show, at least earlier parts of the show, know how much I just have a male boner for EXO-6 stuff. They have such great figures. Well, now they outdid themselves. Their latest one that they have is a 1/6 scale action figure of the Captain Benjamin Sisko, the only person that ever met Q and punched him out, and Q never came back.
You hit me. Picard never hit me. I'm not Picard.
So I can't even begin to speak on it.
When can we get it? Where? How much?
Actually, it's going to be coming out soon. They come in two different versions. There's going to have the standard version, which is more expensive and better equipped. And they have the essential version, which eliminates some accessories and hands, and it'll sell for $180, where the expensive one will sell for $250. The standard one comes with 6 interchangeable hands, Type 3 phaser rifle, holster, tricorder, baseball pad, as Heather says, and a whiskey glass.
I just put my order in for the well-endowed one.
That one, you have to be careful to make sure you get a proof of age because it's like comes Sisko ready. I don't know what that means.
Ooh.
But
Oh, yeah, and I have to add a weight, too. Otherwise, it won't stand.
How tall are these dolls?
Well, it's the same thing. It's not the size of the boat. It's the motion of the ocean.
Oh, okay.
That's a lie.
So it's
That's a lie.
Speaking from experience.
I don't want to know about the motion of his ocean.
The bigger the better, the more I get wetter.
We're gonna. Did I say we're not for kids?
Okay. We just lost Heather for about 20 minutes here.
I just said we're not for kids, right? Yeah, we're not for kids. Oh, to answer your question there, Heather, it's going to be available in January, so right around the corner, and you can pre-order it through Sideshow Collectibles. So it looks really, really good. I mean, really good. Unless you don't like Sisko, then you won't get Kirk. Kirk's coming out in 2023. They got the motion picture James C. Kirk minus the belly. So that's going to be coming out soon. But when it's out, we'll let everybody know.
It's coming out.
So
it wants the world to know.
Now I've gotten stuff wondering what happened to my science officer and why she's not doing the recap. Well, I'm sorry.
Wait, I am doing the recap.
I know. That's what I was getting ready to say. You spoiled the thunder I was going to do.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, my God. I was going to try to trick
on this show sometimes.
Seriously. You need to shut the fuck up, Doc. Don't laugh. It was not funny. Just leave the quarters.
Always a critic.
I think I watched this episode at least 8 times.
It's a very good episode. So that being said, take it away.
Hi, Captain. So this week we watched... Sorry, can I start over? One second. Don't cut this out. I need to take Pipsini off. Okay, there we go.
I thought you were sitting there topless again with tassels.
And then I shook them.
Oh my God.
Whatever you're into.
Oh my God.
Oh God. Okay, this week is Star Trek Prodigy Season 1, Episode 16, Preludes. It first aired December 1st, 2022. Act 1, Prelude to Quaaludes.
Prelude.
Yeah, whatever. As Janeway waits at the border, she yearns to learn more about the kids who evaded the Tau Shiar and gained control over the Protostar. Commander Tice, the Andorian, dug around on Facebook and found their profiles. They're called the Unwanted. Janeway finally has names to faces. If only they would answer their phone. It's time to play the waiting game. On the Protostar, our crew is trying to fix the ship so they can escape the neutral zone. But Dal is frustrated with his lack of abilities and is pretty upset about being a failed genetic experiment. Jankom reminds him that he's not the only one with a sob story. At least he's not being hunted by his father like Gwyn is. Zero pulls a dickish move and violates Rok's boundaries by reading her mind without permission. Not okay, Zero. Get consent. Ready for a break, Jankom asks Rok how she ended up enslaved on Tars Lamora. Rok's story. She used to work for the WWE as a prominent villain, but she didn't get the love or support from the fans that she desired. Depressed, she decided to flip the script one day. It was fun at first, but then the fun ended when she was traded to another company for deviating from the approved script. That's why she doesn't like fighting. Zero's story, he once frolicked on a world of wisps who are constantly celebrating gay pride. Curious and playful, Zero wanted to see and explore everything, including that weird box over there. But wait, it's a trap. The Kazon captured Zero and sold him to Gwyn. Gwyn remembers this and feels regret about the part she played.
This beginning part I kind of like because we have a chance to see an insight on Rok-Tahk. We discover why Rok-Tahk is such an accomplished fighter. You know,
it was a great little surprise. I wasn't expecting that, but Rok-Tahk was actually the monster, or as my notes apparently have it as Rok-Monster.
Yeah,
Rok-Monster.
She was a Rok-Monster.
Oh my God.
Monster.
I thought I'd get more laughs out of Patrick for that.
Considering at the B-52's concert is where I got COVID. Thanks for reminding me.
Bringing up bad memories. Well, I mean, this is all about bad memories. This was not a good time for her. It was actually pretty bad.
Ooh, nice save.
It was kind of depressing that she had to constantly play the victim. And one day she just...
The villain.
Yeah. And the villain. Yeah, because not everybody wants to be the bad guy, right?
No.
She was just upset that people thought she was like her character, which most actors have a problem with. They think that they, whatever their character they're acting like, oh, they must be like that. Nuh-uh. Nope.
Yeah, it's kind of bad when you play a big, giant, monstrous rock creature and you're just an ordinary little girl. It's kind of against your part, right?
A sweet little 8-year-old.
And then when she finally gets a chance to be the hero for once, they're just like, yeah, you know your role. And they fucking sold her. Which was really messed up.
I was a little upset over this because it looked like the comedy routine was actually pretty good. I thought everybody in the crowd was cheering and laughing. The Klingons were having a really good time, and that's rare to see a Klingon laugh that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, unfortunately, the way it is. A lot of people have fun at someone else's expense until it's on them, and then it's no longer any fun.
Mm-hmm. And what happened? What did he do? He didn't go with, he's not a really, that dude that she didn't know the guy's name, right? It was just, he was the quote unquote, the hero.
Well, wasn't he like in the same boat as her, basically?
Yeah, he was, but he was kind of, I think he was a little stuck up because he didn't want to play that other part. I mean, once he did and he realized what happened, he was like, yeah, it was a great, it's show business, man. Can't you see how much the crowd loved it? I'm blown away that they didn't keep doing that show because they were probably way more entertaining as a comedy routine than they were as a fight club.
I thought they lost a bet, though. I thought they were gambling and lost a bet, and that's why Rok-Tahk was sold.
That's why it's more than just show business. It's gambling business. That's the side of the crowd I'm not used to because usually when the shows I work, I don't get gambling involved with.
Well, my question is how did she become property to begin with?
Well, yeah, they didn't talk about that. But the part that kind of hit home for me and made me feel more for Rok-Tahk is when they said that people didn't come to see a monster to be a hero. And I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
it was, it's against marketing. I think they had bad marketing.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, even in real life, it's kind of like that because I have favorite actors that unfortunately doesn't fit into Hollywood standard of what a leading man looks like, but they're exceptional actors like Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman is a hell of an actor and he does a great job, but you won't see him headlining a movie unless he's in heavy prosthetics like in Hellboy.
Like Hellboy, right.
Yeah. And it's a shame, but that's the way it is. You know,
it's a shame when you mess around with my heart.
This is true. So it was a nice little segue to get into it, you know.
And I like that at the end of it all, she mentions it helps to talk about it. I thought that was, you know, it was therapeutic, even though it was kind of a little bit of mind invasion going on by the telepath.
She didn't want us to talk about it. She's like, why didn't you read my mind?
But once she did talk about it, it did kind of help a little. So it's nice to share stories with your friends and it can come out and people can, support you. I mean, if she wasn't supported by these friends, then this would have been a bad experience.
One of the things that they talk about for post-traumatic stress disorder, sometimes in a session when you can talk about an event, the more you talk about it, the lesser you can get it to affect you. And it does work for some people because it removes the sting out of it.
I always say that when you can laugh about something that happened to you that was bad, then you've dealt with it.
Yeah, then you can it helps. So you can look back and you become a narrator rather than the actual part of the story.
Sometimes telling the story over and over again just re-traumatizes the person over and over again.
This is true.
So
this is true.
Sometimes
it doesn't work for everybody, but some people it does.
Right.
So, and then of course we get our joke moment because Zero, his arm just falls off.
Well, he needed a hand job.
He was giving someone a hand.
He had a hand job, and that's why it fell off.
I guess technically Zero is a they. They needed a hand job.
This is true. So that was what else did you think about this first act?
It was a glow party for Zero's story. I really enjoyed that because there was no dialogue. It was just visual. It was just there were no bodies involved. It was just these floating entities.
The fucking Kazon.
I thought it was really sweet.
And the fucking Kazon.
Then the fucking Kazon come in and fucking ruin everything.
Kazon they just fuck shit up left and right, man.
Well, it's interesting. One of the things on one of the news sites I saw, you know what it was? It was the Janeway's log. She was mentioning how it kind of left a, what do they call it? A power,
vacuum.
It's a power void. Because she defeated the Borg, there was a big power void left. And guess who fucking came to fill the void? The Kazon, those bastards. So we see the Kazon involved in every one of these stories at the end. If you don't look too closely, I mean, just look for their hair. You'll notice them right off.
Totes.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. But I was really enjoying Zero's story until, of course, what's in the box? You got curious.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? You know what? As far as boxes are designed, I always thought that the Medusan capture box was like the coolest little crazy little sci-fi box, even from the original series. You remember that box? And they beamed it in on the transporter and it was like, whoa, that's a cool looking box. I've never seen one of those before because it was totally unique. I thought the design was just brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Totes.
Of course, so did the Medusan, and guess who got caught?
Yeah, that wasn't a fun part for him. He wound up.
It kind of reminded me of like a futuristic microwave.
There's no popcorn coming out of there.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Stop trying to put popcorn in Zero's box.
It's got a Faraday cage to keep the waves in.
I'm trying to put anything in Zero's box.
Oh my.
That's all they need. They needed somebody who stood there once they had him and do what you just said, point at it and go, what's in the box?
And Curiosity gets the cat and the Medusan.
Wait, stop. It's a trap.
But that was actually kind of...
Going into the box is always a trap.
Sometimes you want to go to the box because it's nice being in a box.
But why I still would like the backstory. Why did the Kazon figures capturing Medusas as a way to go? They're just evil son of a bitches anyway. They should have been, even the Borg didn't want them. So there's that.
And the techniques that were used, I mean, what are you going to do with a Medusan in a box? Yeah. They used it to torture people. That's fucked up.
I mean, it's not a great Christmas gift.
Yeah, you can't just hang up Kazon. You can't just hang a Medusan on a Christmas tree. I mean, yeah, it's pretty, but then everybody goes fucking bonkers.
I wonder how much Gwen paid for it, the Medusan.
Well, you have Elf on a Shelf. Now you have Medusan in a box. So
that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't rhyme at all.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
I was
Phlox
was
in a
also,
box would.
Don't put Phlox in a box.
Oh my God, I can't
You
drink
could
this
do a Medusan
coffee
in a
anymore.
mirror, I guess.
You'd have to put some shades
The
on.
Medusan is a cruising.
I can't have this coffee anymore. There's something in it.
But the moment when Gwen, realized exactly how it all went down, and she had that moment of empathy. She had no idea that's what was actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was nice. I know we kind of blended a couple of the parts in here. Well, no, actually, no. We're up to part 2 now.
Yep, you're up to Act 2. I mean, we didn't mention the one thing I think we forgot to mention was the kids ghosted Janeway.
When did they ghost her?
Because they're not answering her hails.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
they can't because of
They
that
can't
thing.
enter her hails.
But from Janeway's point of view, she gets ghosted by a bunch of kids, and that's not normal for Janeway.
Yeah.
Well, the ship they had to turn the ship off and on again.
No, but if they make any contact with Janeway's ship, it'll infect the ship.
Yeah, but Janeway doesn't know that.
I know.
But that's like I trying to bring it around to the modern day terminology. She's ghosted.
Yeah, she was ghosted.
Of course, normally, if you were a Beverly Crusher fan, you get really excited by being ghosted.
Yes.
Oh,
true.
my.
It's a ghost in the machine.
Ooh.
Okay,
Oh,
Act
speaking
2.
about ghosts, let's go to Act 2.
Okay. Actions have consequences. Now that they are finally alone, the Vought not speak freely. The Medusan shattered the diviner's mind, and he doesn't remember anything. Please help me remember. Asenia tells a tale of woe and purpose, the diviner's story. They were the same age when Starfleet made first contact, with them in the Delta Quadrant. Half of their people agreed with Starfleet and its principles, while the other half were against it, causing a civil war to break out. Starfleet refused to take sides, making things worse, abandoning them to face decades of death and destruction. Decades after that, a wormhole opened up and the protostar with Captain Chakotay appears, thanks to a temporal anomaly. Wrong place, wrong time, bud, 'cause these people are pissed. They capture Chakotay and his crew and place their last secret weapon on the protostar, planning to send it back in time to destroy Starfleet before they made first contact. But on the eve of the launch, Chakotay and the crew escape. Unable to deactivate the weapon, they send the entire crewless ship to an unknown time and space. Furious and desperate, the Von Not form the Order and send out 100 ships manned by one soldier and one dreadnought through the wormhole, each landing in a random place and time, looking for the lost protostar. That's when he became the diviner and landed 20 years ago. She became the Vindicator and landed 3 years ago, infiltrating Starfleet and becoming an evolved deepfake ensign. She's amazed he defied the Order and made a Prodigy. Why did she betray us? Well, the family she chose was better than the family she had.
Ooh.
He made a progeny, not a prodigy. The progeny could have been a prodigy, but it was a progeny.
No, he made a Prodigy because that's how we got the show.
No.
It was a Prodigy.
I like the Prodigy. They're a great band. It's a sad thing that one of their singers passed, but I love their music.
It was
Yes, no.
Prodigy.
He made a progeny, which is an offspring.
This is why we have
Progeny
Patrick.
could have been a prodigy.
You realize you just made Alana extremely happy.
Oh, I know. I was just going to say that Lana's just having a flipping.
She loves it when this happens.
She's coming all over herself.
When you hear Patrick correct something?
Yeah. She just thinks it's hysterical.
Patrick
Lonnie's
just made a woman come.
That's amazing.
Hey, I've done it before. Just not in a really long time.
Please.
Okay, well,
It's been ages.
I hope it didn't happen too quickly.
No.
Oh, wait, no, that would be you coming. Never mind.
Oh, my.
The thing is, I don't get is they turn around and they okay. Now this is what confused me. So somebody help me out here. That Chakotay went to the future with the protostar.
Yeah, and guess where he is now? He's still in the future, lost on that planet, right?
He's lost on their planet.
Janeway's not going to find him because he's in the future.
No way. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
This is a big deal. That's like nobody mentions this kind of important plot point, but anybody know when Chakotay is?
Yeah, thank you. It's like the Doritos commercial. He's in the future. So it's just
Those
like
damn temporal anomalies.
Yeah, so he's there and they send the ship back. And just like all temporal time travel, one person gets there later than the other. And apparently the diviner gets there and he's horny and pops out a kid, which is supposedly against the rules. So,
because guess what happens when you pop out a kid? Well, it's cute at first, and then they become teenagers.
Yeah, they turn in and they create the show Prodigy.
It's a classic time travel rule.
Yeah, and your hoo-ha's whacked.
Oh my
it's
God.
true.
But we finally found what happened to Chakotay. At least now we know what happened to him.
This is true. And we find out the woman's with him. She's mad because he didn't create a progeny with her.
Is that what it is?
Jealous.
Well, at least her
Is her hoo-ha intact?
So
The Vindicator's hoo-ha.
is
oh
intact.
my God. Oh,
I'm
that's
killing
just
myself
wrong. That
And
is
I
just
thought
Oh my
wrong.
Rok-Monster
God.
was more funny than this. That's great.
You realize that we're perverting the shit out of a kid's show, right?
We love it, though. We're doing it out of love.
You know, when we started this podcast, there was no kids show Star Trek.
Well, that's true.
Prodigy hadn't come out yet.
That's true. But now they get the name, which is everyone always scared when you hear of the Order.
Bum, bum,
It was
bum.
created in order to go and destroy Starfleet in the past. So, but they don't realize, like J.J. Abrams, it's not going to save their future. It just creates a timeline shift.
You know,
So-
the thing that bothers me about this whole thing with Chakotay is when the Dreadnoks were attacking, when they boarded the ship, they're blasting them with phasers, and it didn't do a fucking thing.
Yeah. Well,
You would think a little bit of a phaser would at least make a mark on these Dreadnoks. Nothing happened.
because it's the future.
They might as well shine flashlights at the guys.
So they were stormtroopers.
They need to take a lesson from the Jedis. They found a way that if you slowly insert the lightsaber past the shields, you can blow it up.
You're talking about a slow insertion, sir?
Oh, wait, I did it. I know, didn't I?
Oh my!
I just did another perversion.
You go in slow and easy.
Yeah. Yeah. But apparently the anomaly collapsed and the Order's like, yeah, well, let's go ahead
Like her
and try
hoo-ha. The baby.
everybody. Oh, God. This is what, oh my God, what the fuck was that noise?
I think he
I think you heard his
started.
hoo-ha. That's a hee-haw. A man's hoo-ha is a hee-haw.
I've never heard Patrick laugh this hard before, and it was at his own joke.
He just popped his own hee-haw.
Oh my God!
This is so much better than the ending line of the line, which actually I thought the end line of the act was pretty good. She met a boy, but oh my God, this went so much further than that.
Oh, that pissed me off. That there's a rant right there. I got a rant for you on that
Imagine,
one.
Okay.
Well, the way you let it in the description, you said the family that she was with was better than the family she was from. So that said it all right there, man. You got to treat your girl right.
Exactly, because, dude, the diviner, here's a rant. I'm doing a rant. So Asenia says, why did she betray us? And the diviner says, she met a boy. Fuck you. She was kidnapped, and then you betrayed your own daughter and left her for dead, and he completely glossed over that fact of his own wrongdoing and said she met a fucking boy. They're not even interested in each other. Fuck you.
It's
was
interesting
ego.
how the stories change depending on who you ask what the story is.
It was ego
True.
on his part. He's not
And
going to
who's
accept
hoo-ha
it.
you're messing with?
Oh my God, Patrick.
He's not going to accept his fault. It's just that was his ego. He's like, yeah, she met a boy. It doesn't matter. He was being a dick. You know, it was that.
He left her.
And most of the fathers in the world, you know, if she met a boy, guess who's coming out there with the shotgun? What the hell was he doing, man?
No, he was willing to trade his daughter for the protostall. He just left that blank there too.
Yeah,
so.
it feels bad, man.
She was kidnapped. She didn't have a choice. She was kidnapped.
Yep.
And then later she was ready to go back with him and he fucking left her for dead.
Yeah, so it shows.
Like he basically chose the protostar over her.
And then those crocodile
Why did
tears.
she betray us?
My daughter.
Oh, that pissed me off. I was mad about that one.
But I know what part didn't piss you off.
Huh.
It was the next part.
Okay, you want
because
to
that
go
was
to that
extremely
one?
entertaining.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. For those of you who didn't see it, massive spoiler. Well, fuck it. There's already been a lot of spoilers. Go ahead.
Act 3. Don't forget about placing a sock on the door. They were able to turn it off and turn it back on again. Success! Now they just have to wait for the protostar to reboot, which might take a while. Dao suggests playing video games, but Rok wants to hear Jankom tell his story. Okay, so Jankom's story. Jankom Pog was an orphan on Tellarite, pre-Federation days when all orphans were sent on deep space missions. During the crew's cryosleep cycle, an asteroid put a hole in the hull, setting off an endlessly annoying alarm clock. Pog wakes up looking for the snooze button, but learns that he can't turn off the alarm clock and go back to sleep until the hull has been fixed. Geez, he's only an apprentice. With everyone still asleep, and only an AI robot for company, Pog does the best he can. Unfortunately, the robot has an issue with pronouns, so the only way it understands Pog is if he speaks in the third person. Jankom Pog can fix it, and every time he does, something else would break. Oops. No worries, Jankom Pog can fix it. He spent so much time, energy, and oxygen fixing everything that the crew of 30 didn't have enough oxygen to survive the trip. Oops, Jankom Pog can fix it. He sacrifices himself and leaves the ship via an emergency escape pod. Jankom Pog finally fixed it, and now he can go to bed. Just as he falls asleep, he is caught by a Kazon and sold to the diviner. What's Murph's story? He was burped into existence.
Is that what Murph said?
Yeah, that's what Murph said. He said he was burped into existence. And Janeway's story? Quote, have I ever told you about Mollie? That story's not safe for work or kids because it was a hell of a trip. Back to the real Janeway. She comes to terms that these kids aren't criminals. They're just in way over their heads. She has some questions for the diviner. Where is he? Janeway walks in without knocking, always a big no-no, and sees a threesome. A naked Vaunukat, without her human disguise on. A dirty dreadnought, and the diviner sneaks up behind her and knocks her out, to ensure the mission. To be continued.
Okay. First off, that whole thing about Jankom Pog can fix it was really kind of cute. I really got a kick out of that.
Oh, man. Jankom Pog. Well, you just gave me a great English lesson right there. So kids that do watch this, not our show, but the Prodigy show, the show about the starships, they can learn about pronouns. That's wonderful. Just because Jankom Pog can fix it. That's an English lesson. I wasn't even thinking. I was thinking science fiction. There's an English lesson in here. That blows my mind right there.
We finally know why he speaks in the third person. We finally understand.
Because he got tortured by a badly designed piece of software and a little stupid hardware.
He did get tortured. He was so badly tortured.
And you know what else pisses me off? You know what broke his sleeping pod? Was that wrench. Somebody left a wrench above a sleeping pod. Mm-hmm. Don't put your wrenches above the cryo bed. What the fuck? Who did that?
Right. Always secure your equipment.
Yeah, but Jankom Pog can fix it. We should talk to the Ferengi that we get down in the merch shop and see, in order for us to not get in trouble with copyright, maybe we can make a J-Pog can fix it.
Mash it up with the IT crowd.
Yeah. Or just a Pog can fix it.
No, I think that's good merch. Let's do Jankom Pog can fix it.
Yeah, I think that would do it. But it was very funny, and he did fix a lot of stuff by trial and error, but he fixed almost everything. And I think it's really fucked up that he spent all that time fixing it, and it tells him, guess what? because you were awake, there's not enough oxygen for everyone else. So
yeah, that was fucked up.
That was messed up.
And the way that the error message pops up on this little droid, it wasn't like, error or whatever. It was, oops.
Oops.
Sorry.
And then
It didn't even say sorry. It just said, oops.
Yeah. And then he's like, make sure you tell everyone who saved him. And it's like, what is your name again?
Yeah, what the fuck? He's just the unnamed hero now.
Oh my God. It was so fucked up. But again, it shows that he was a hero. And then Janeway finally gets the brain. I don't know who had the community brain, but she finally takes the community brain back and realizes that, okay, something's going screwy, and she's going to go talk to them without security, and the guy's going to knock her out.
She calls security to tell him to do a Google search.
Yeah,
find out everything about this guy, the diviner guy.
But what are they going to do when she doesn't answer?
Also, too, it's like, why is the diviner in the ensign's quarters?
Thank you. And then if the ensign can do a shapeshift, what is she's going to try to shapeshift the Janeway? And then if she does, will the command codes work?
Oh my God! What's happening next week? Wait, next week is this week.
That's what I think was going to happen next week.
That's going to happen soon.
Yeah, we're going to see it like tonight
if we stay up late enough.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I always do because there's always reports to write and everything else. And
I hear you.
It's really bad in removing Patrick's ass print out of the galley chairs and. On the side, he likes to go and just sit in the chairs naked when he thinks nobody's awake.
Oh man, don't sit in the chair naked if somebody else is going to sit in that chair at one point.
No, the dots love to watch him when he do that because when he stands up, they love hearing that suction noise break.
I walked in on Patrick saying naked on your chair, Rocky.
My chair?
Yeah.
Your chair.
I sit naked on this chair. What the hell?
You sit naked on there?
Sometimes.
No wonder why he was rubbing his balls around it. Being like,
everybody sit naked on the
Heather,
chairs.
what were you smoking that day? Because there's no way I was in Rocky's room naked.
No, to my engineering.
Maybe I had the same Mollie that Janeway had.
Were you reading like fanfic?
Something.
Oh my God.
Because there was no way I was in his room naked rubbing my balls on his chair.
Well.
And anybody visit my quarters, don't sit in the chair.
Do you know what Janeway was talking about with Mollie?
She had Mollie?
It wasn't an ecstasy story. It was a story about her dog.
Yeah. Her dog, Mollie, was the runt to the litter.
Oh,
but
that's right.
Janeway chose her anyway, believing she had spunk. And that was from
Spunk.
Voyager Shattered.
She got spunked?
No. She got punked.
I gave spunk.
And that was from Voyager Shatter, Season 7, Episode 11.
Oh, that's cool. Mollie, get your runt here. Mollie. Oh, sorry. Okay. This episode.
Don't recognize that one.
Lolly, get your adverbs here. Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Well, okay. That was one of the other ones at school. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Not the, I'm just a bill
sitting on Capitol Hill.
I think that's the most famous one.
Yeah, and
Junction. What's your function? Hooking up words and phrases.
Hooking up phrases and things like,
okay.
In the morning when I'm wide awake, I like to take a walk down by the lake where I usually see a duck and a drake. And I wonder what they would say if they could speak.
Okay,
we're not a singing podcast.
They would say hoo-ha.
We're not. So let's go ahead and go for ratings. Well, what would you give this one there, Heather?
I give this a 9.5. It would have been a 10, but I had the rant with 0, so that knocked it down to 0.5. So
and
9.
how about you, Patrick? How many viewers are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it an 8.5. I liked that there was a lot of good backstory, a lot of information on our intrepid crew.
Yeah. How about you there, Chief?
I would go a 9, but Jankom Pog's engineering story was just terrifying to me. So I have to bring it down to an 8.75.
Okay. I would have gave it a 10. I have to go right around a 9, maybe where yours is, Chief, because it annoys me if they're going to do the shapeshifter and the voice matches. I mean, the voice code should be identical to the person.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think she's a pure shapeshifter. I think something's weird going on there.
I think she's got one of those face things that the Black Widow uses on the Avengers. So we'll see.
Like a hologram type thing?
Yeah. Something on her neck or something like that. And it tells you she has no dating life because you wouldn't somebody discover it's like, why is your face pink and your body blue?
Why are you looking at her body, sir?
I'm saying that's why she was dating.
They have dark rooms for that reason.
Oh, that's true. I don't like the lights on.
If you want a romance, turn the lights off.
Oh my God. That means I've been with people like that. There's been people who like the dark. Oh no.
That's why you always have the light on. You never notice, right?
Yeah. Where's the hell that little recorder that's supposed to be playing music around me all the time that Heather says is in the air? I'm going to have to review
Oh, sorry,
its
sir.
tapes.
I'll program that into the camera that's following you around that's invisible.
Oh, okay. That
Cloaked.
explains it. And
Sorry.
one of the dots said you like to review that footage. I'm going to have to find out if that's true.
No, not at all.
Number one?
Nope.
What's next week's title? Or actually this week's title, but I don't know when we're going to be playing these episodes out.
It is going to be called Ghost in the Machine.
Not Ghost in the Shell?
No, Ghost in the Machine.
We have a Ghost in the Shell episode. Oh my God.
Starring Johanna. Scarlett
Johansson.
Yeah, whatever.
God.
You had me at Scarlet Joe.
It's ScarJo. So ScarJo's going to be in it, right? Well, thanks everybody for joining us. And if you stopped over and saw us at the Los Angeles Comic-Con, it was really, really good seeing you. So thank you about that. If you want to know where we are next time, provided you're not a stalker or murderer, we're going to be at WonderCon. We'll try to give you the information ahead of time where to find us. Just go ahead and hit all of our social media stuff.
And ask them where the Tribble's at.
Yeah.
Did anybody ask you about the Tribbles?
No, unfortunately they did not. But we did have more Tribbles than we had last week. I think they're multiplying. One of them ate the entire box of Boiler's raisins and popped out a blue fuzzy.
Oh my God.
So that was quite funny. But other than that, everybody, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Starfleet Underground. And if you miss us, another episode is going to follow real quick. So there's that. And sorry about that, Chief. We've made you do double work. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, he had to do overtime.
What?
That's okay. Jankom Pog can fix it.
The dot says he's going to look for his prehensile hands and give you a back rub.
Oh.
No, his back is not below his waist.
Oh.
It's above. Yes, I'm sure.
That's a butt rub, sir.
What do you
Patrick,
mean that's as
did you
far
program that
as you
dot?
can reach? You can reach further. You've hovered that.
Don't reach around. No, that's not the way you do it.
Okay. No, put that attachment back. He's not going to insert anything. Just.
Well, he might want the attachment.
I might just use the vibrating chair instead. You know, the one I sit in.
The same one Patrick did.
That's why you sit naked in that chair. That's why. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We've had a great time with you as always. And if this is your first time listening to your show, I guarantee you, if you go back in time, it's just as bad. We're always enjoying everything. If we insulted any of you or if you felt offended by our views,
then we did our job.
Well, tough.
We're not trying to offend.
Sorry about that. No, we just say it as it is.
But if we do, it's a bonus.
Just like you.
We're just being ourselves, which is offensive. You know?
All the time. So remember, please just don't have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.
Oh, God, dog it. What happened? Is the moisture cut? Chief, is my room humid? Because I'm sticking to my chair now.
Patrick's in his room on his chair.
You turned up the humidity in your room?
Somebody did because I'm sticking on the chair. I mean, I'm bare ass naked.
That's
probably
Patrick's sweat.
have somebody clean that.
Ew.
He was in there.
Ew.
Nope.
Oh, fuck me. We're still broadcasting, aren't we?
Aren't we usually?
Oh, yeah, we are. I forgot to hit the button.